Good morning, readers and listeners. It's Miss Beth and Winston again. Today we're going to start reading at chapter 9. So if you have the Tale of Despereaux at home, make sure you have it opened up to chapter 9. Now, yesterday at the end of chapter 8, the author asked the reader, do you know the meaning of the word perfidy? And the author used it when she said, at least Lester, that means the mouse father, at least Lester had the decency to weep at his act of perfidy. Remember, Lester met with the mouse council. So she wanted to know if you knew what perfidy meant. And if you didn't, to make sure you look it up in the dictionary. So did you? If you did, you found out that it meant deceitfulness or untrustworthiness. So how was Lester deceitful or untrustworthy? And if you think about what happened in chapter 8, you're right. He didn't defend his son. He was a tattletale. He told the mouse council about what Despereaux had been doing with the king and the princess, which was against the mouse rules. So instead of sticking up for or defending his son, he was being deceitful or untrustworthy. So that's what perfidy means. Chapter 9, the right question. The Mouse Council sent Furlough to collect Despereaux, and Furlough found his brother in the library, standing on top of the great open book with his tail wrapped tightly around his feet, his small body shivering. Despereaux was reading the story out loud to himself. He was reading from the beginning so that he could get to the end, where the reader was assured that the knight and the fair maiden lived together happily ever after. Despereaux wanted to read those words, happily ever after. He needed to say them aloud. He needed some reassurance that his feeling he had for the Princess P, this love, would come to a good end. And so he was reading the story as if it were a spell, and the words of it spoken aloud could make magic happen. See here, said Furlough aloud to himself. He looked at his brother and then looked away. This is just the kind of thing I'm talking about. This is exactly the kind of thing. What's he doing here, for cripe's sakes? He's not eating the paper. He's talking to the paper. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. Hey, he said to Despereaux. And Despereaux kept reading. Hey, shouted Furlough. Despereaux, the Mouse Council wants you. Pardon? Said Despereaux. He looked up from the book. The Mouse Council has called you to sit with them. Me? Said Despereaux. You. Well, I'm busy right now, said Despereaux, and he bent his head again to the open book. Furlough sighed. Oh, geez, he said. Cripes, nothing makes sense to this guy, nothing. I was right to turn him in. He's sick. Furlough crawled up the chair leg and then hopped onto the book. He sat next to Despereaux, tapped him on the head once, twice. Hey, he said, the Mouse Council isn't asking. They're telling. They're commanding. You have to come with me right now. Despereaux turned to Furlough. Do you know what love is? He asked. Huh? Love. Furlough shook his head. You're asking the wrong question, he said. The question you should be asking is why the Mouse Council wants to see you. There's somebody who loves me, said Despereaux, and I love her, and that is the only thing that matters to me. Somebody who loves you? Somebody who loves you? What difference does that make? What matters is that you're in a whole lot of trouble with the Mouse Council. Oh, her name, said Despereaux, is P. What? The person who loves me. Her name is P. Ugh, cripes, said Furlough. You're missing the whole point of everything here. You're missing the point of being a mouse. You're missing the point of being called to sit with the Mouse Council. You've got to come with me. It's the law. You've been called. Despereaux sighed. He reached out and touched the words fair maiden in the book. He traced them with one paw, and then he put his paw to his mouth. Oh, creep, said Furlough. You're making a fool of yourself. Let's go. I honor you, whispered Despereaux. I honor you. And then, reader, he followed Furlough over the book and down the chair leg and across the library floor to the waiting Mouse Council. He allowed his brother to lead him to his fate. And now we are at chapter 10. And we will read chapter 10 tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed that. And I hope it's, I don't know, I'm worried about Despereaux leading him to his fate. I'm afraid of what's going to happen at the Mouse Council. We'll find out tomorrow. Have a good day. Remember, make those movies in your head while you're reading.